All right. Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. This is going to be kind of an unusual little thing. We're going to do a follow up, a part two to a video that I did, I think, was it yesterday or the day before? I think it came out yesterday. Anyway, it was just called bonus, and I think I called it like a very rare situation, because it was a storyline that I'll just do a quick recap here and just say there was somebody that was re-emerging on a person's life, and the story that they had to tell about where they had been seemed very like movie quality esque. It was like kind of a drama and intrigue, and it was the storyline was all over the place with they were undercover or they had been there was like a variety of different options to describe where they had been, but the big component was they had never not been thinking about this individual that they were presenting themselves to again. And that feminine was in some pretty profound disbelief of the story that they were concocting, the story that they were telling. And we kind of couldn't tell in the storyline, were they telling the truth, were they blowing smoke? But really, their desire to like prove that they were being realistic was in our story. They were proposing. It was like a full blown, like, okay, you don't believe me. You're not sure that you can trust me. I don't know what more I can do other than to tell you, well, I'm here for something serious. And so it was very much like a very huge, step forward, which was, hi, I'm back. I'm reemerging on your life. I have this epic story to tell you about why I haven't been around. And now let me prove to you that I'm the real deal by proposing. So that's what the storyline was. And it was kind of like, huh, okay. And surprisingly, at the very end of that story, we had her contemplating, like, I have always felt like they were my two of cups. And I don't know if I can believe everything that they're telling me, but it would be an awful lot of effort for them to concoct this story and to go to this great length. And now they're here proposing. So she was kind of like leaning toward being inclined to kind of believe them a bit. And that's where the story stopped. So I had a special request. Could we go back into that story? And so that's the backdrop of it. So let's just see kind of like where our feminine goes next, because she was contemplating, I can't help it, I did feel like they were my two of cups, even though it's very hard to swallow everything that they're saying. We have the four of cups, and this four of cups is, four of cups is always about sometimes missed opportunities and such, and illusions. But this one, because I always look at the goose that's holding the umbrella over her as like the universe shielding her, protecting her. And I'm wondering if she's kind of thinking, perhaps I actually have been protected. Maybe what they're telling me is true. Maybe their life was full of drama and intrigue. Maybe they were working for the police. Maybe they were undercover. Maybe there was something about them that I did not know. And the best way they could have kept me safe and out of whatever their drama was to not be with me at that time. I mean, there is an element of, she is contemplating, is this all an illusion or have I been protected? Seven of Wands, maybe he was in jail. And better if I didn't know anything more about his trials and tribulations. I mean, this, again, we're jumping right back into a drama storyline. By the way, Yael Rubin requested this follow-up on this one. So shout out to Yael. Hi, everybody. So great to see you all. But we definitely see, someone who maybe they were an informant or something like that. But in this fictional story, we have him really trying to get back into her life. And I do feel like she is contemplating if anything that he's telling me is true. And even here, we see him have a duality, because if we only saw the top half of him, we would see him as this very calm, cool, calm, well put together person. Then we see the bottom half of him and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. He's like, looks like an MMA fighter. He's got all these, tats. He's got all this musculature. But again, up top, not a hair is out of place. It does feel like somebody who could have lived a double life. And I am wondering if she is rolling this over in her mind, saying, perhaps I have known that there was something that this person was intentionally withholding from me. Perhaps they did do some of this to protect me. They are definitely attempting every trick in the book to get back into my life. And again, I can't help but see them as my Two of Cups. Anyway, we slice it, regardless of what has happened, regardless of what this situation has been. She's like, but I love them, or I feel connected to them, even if this is a big, huge steaming pile of BS. Look, I don't really think she's inclined to believe that. I think she's actually leaning toward maybe they got themselves into some trouble. Maybe they did, look, great people make mistakes all the time. And sometimes great people get, they make a small mistake, but then they pay a way bigger price. Or, life is stranger than, we would think sometimes. So I'm just thinking that she is under this impression that, like, there were elements that she could identify. Like, I do believe that he was living two different lives. I do believe he was maybe trying to keep me safe. And I do, because I can't help but feel so bonded to him. And he comes across as if he's very bonded to me. Let's go to him, and let's just say in the other part of this, the original part of this, I mean, it was all totally focused on him. I think we want this deck actually from him. Let's let him just tell us what's the reality here. I want to marry her. Four of Wands. He, at the end of part one, he was proposing, and now he is again. At the end of part one, she was saying he's a Two of Cups, and she is again. He keeps saying, I just want to marry her. I want to live together. I want to be in this house with her. So let me just ask, are you somebody who has a ton to really offer her at this point? Hi, guys. Night Owls Unite. Moonbeam Wendy, you're adorable. We got a Four of Cups in the reverse. He's saying there's no illusions. There's no illusions here. I've said the truth. I want to marry her. I want to live with her. What about your past? I told everything that was true with the King of Swords. He keeps insisting everything I've said, as outlandish as it has been, that is the situation. I have spoken what I could speak to tell the truth. She is leaning toward believing you. She really is here, despite as bizarre as your situation has been. Let's stay with him for a second. Are you aware that, like, this is kind of a lot to ask? Four of Coins, yes. And I believe we have this card. I think I used this deck because I think I remember saying something about, like, there was so much that he held back, and now he's like opening up the secret box and revealing all the secrets. And he's like, look, I've finally, like, everything that I held back, I have already presented. I know it's hard to believe, because I think I said something about, like, I don't know if he has like mementos or he has like receipts to back all this up, but he's saying everything that I held back, I also held on to as proof so I could actually show and reveal to her. It's the only Four of Coins card I've ever seen where somebody is actually like saying, see everything here. This, I want you to see where I keep it. I want you to see, here's where the key is. It's around my neck. I can unlock this at any time. You can see all this. This is somebody who is saying, I'm holding everything back, but I'm not holding it back from you. I'm telling you, the one person on earth I trust, I'm telling you my truth. This all comes across like he is being very sincere. He is being very upfront, and he is saying everything. The Hermit in the reverse, I believe that in part one, I believe she was in hermit mode, because I think I was referring to her as the Hermit. If this is him saying, that's the whole point, like, I don't want there to be any more silence. I won't keep anything from you anymore. I won't leave you out in the dark or out in the cold. I don't have to anymore. Why did you before, though? Really, why did you not just tell her everything going on in your life? Magician. He said, I was trying to manifest being able to do that, to bring and shed light on everything. I've been working like off planet to be able to do that. But Two of Swords, Queen of Cups, and the Moon, all of this says either I know she wouldn't have believed me, even though I also know that she loved me, but the secrets that I kept, like, I had to get to the point where I don't have to keep secrets from her anymore. the moon is here because we did have secrets, but we also see going through that portal, we see the ability to finally say everything. But it's like either she wouldn't have believed me, or if I had told her before everything that was going on, she probably wouldn't have wanted to deal with me. But it was safer or better to keep her in the dark at that point in time. I was manifesting being able to explain everything once some things in my life changed. So they definitely kept their secrets. And in part one, we saw the secrets were like very extravagant, movie quality, like whatever was going on in their life. And even here, we got a glimpse of it again, like something legal, something that, could have had way more layers, some kind of double life type of scenario. So that is something that's been, a very big deal for him to finally be able to like lay all his cards on the table. Do you think that she will believe in you? I'm asking him that. The Palace of Wands, he's like, with all my heart, I hope that she will. I hope, even though I know she'll be guarded, because we have these sentinels, we see these dragons here and here on the pillars. And this is actually representing the heart. The Palace of Wands represents the actual heart. And he's like, I hope with all my heart she'll let me back in. She'll love me again, even though I know she will probably always be like, at least in the beginning, she'll be paying close attention to any red flags. I know that. I know it'll be a probation. I know that. But he does think that she loves him. He's always thought that she loved him. And you genuinely love her? I mean, what are your plans with her? Emperor, holy smokes. To have and to hold, to love and to protect. He wants to be the emperor in her life. He wants to be the person she can rely on. So you don't have any more double life stuff. You're now ready to be fully invested. I mean, you say you're ready for marriage. You're ready. The Ace of Swords in the reverse. What's the either like, I don't know, Wheel of Fortune upright. He's at a point where it's like he's saying, I guess I can't ever say that you never know what will happen in life, but I do know with the Wheel of Fortune upright, this is the right time. And I know that I'm pursuing this because I can tell her everything now and I want to be married. So his main objective is he wants to marry her. He wants to be her emperor. He wants the whole 9 yards. Okay, now let's go back over to her for a second, because we see her like heavily leaning toward saying, maybe I was protected before, maybe he was indeed living some double life and he had a lot of complications, and it's better that I wasn't interwoven, because honestly, knowing the way I feel about him, I would have wanted to be interwoven to every aspect of his life, and maybe this was the better judgment call, because his problems maybe should not have been mine, or it may not have been good for us to be interwoven. She still is on the fence though. She still is like, I don't know though. I don't know if I can invite this person into my world. I mean, I love him. I do. There is that. I feel interwoven to him, and I also feel any way I rationalize it, this is too much to take in all at once. This is me being nervous, or with the Four of Pentacles, me saying, I can't just say, sure, come on into my house. She may not want him in her house. I mean, come on, this person's showing up out of nowhere with a very extravagant story of where they've been, why they haven't been around in her life. You notice it, she's fighting with herself, because like she wants so badly to be like a really nice hostess, to be like really gracious, to invite him into her home. And she's like, I don't think I should invite him into my home. But then this other side of her is like, I so want to invite him into my home. This is tough. This is really tough, because he's coming in and trying to say, I want to marry you. And she's like, I don't think I can let him in my house. Only I feel like he's my Two of Cups, and I really want to let him in my house. I feel like he's also a Six of Cups. Of course, he's a soulmate coming back in. She's wishing that she had the higher perspective, that she could step back a little bit and maybe be able to, like, no matter what, she can sense that there's a bond here, right? But to be able to remove some of her emotions and look at this maybe from a more reasonable viewpoint. The thing is, even when she tries to do that and tries to like pull back, we keep seeing her say, I can't help it. I want to keep leaning toward him. I think this is like, God, I wish I knew more about this person. I wish I had more real info to go off of. And I almost feel like she's trying to back up a little and try to take on the bigger picture. Seven of Pentacles. Again, she's up high and she's stepping back and she's kind of like asking herself, okay, what things do I know to be true about him? What kinds of elements do I think I know? Let's ask, what is it that you think you maybe can piece together? What things do you think you can count on? Queen of Swords. This is tough because she's saying, well, I would really have to look for truth. I know that, in seeking answers, I can see one thing is true. He's been very wounded without me. I do think that he's been very sad. I think he also does not want me to be angry at him. I think he hates fighting with me. I think he's been sad without me. I can see that. I can feel that. Empress, I also think he thinks I'm amazing. He's showing me that. With the Empress, I think it's sincere that he wants to marry me. Justice card, I also am quite certain that he got himself into some kind of trouble or there was some significant imbalance in his life. I think let me get one more on that Justice card. I don't think this is about like he did me wrong. I think this is about like I'm aware something was wrong in his life. We get the Five of Pentacles in the reverse and the Four of Swords upright. I almost feel like she's saying in some ways, whatever went on in his life, that, he did get himself into some kind of trouble. He didn't want to bring me down with him. As much as I might have been wounded and off by myself, maybe it was so that I didn't get tangled up, because this can be loss of money. This can be like he didn't want to drag me down into his whatever was going on in his world. If it was legal troubles, if it was, something else. Sometimes great people make mistakes and they owe a debt to society. And it's like, maybe him not telling her anything was the better choice because she didn't actually lose anything, is what she's acknowledging. I didn't lose, even though it hurt my heart that he was, disappeared on me. But in truth, I've also healed just fine. So there's definitely some elements where it's like, she's kind of counting up and saying he didn't really hurt me per se. And I do think something went wrong in his world. And I do think that he actually cares about me. So these are just the little tiny things that she's trying to sift through with this kind of fantastical story so that she can decide what to do about all this. Five of Wands. We see her, playing that mental game of chess, trying to figure out, what should I do? What do I believe? What do I not believe? I don't know that she's talking to anybody else about this exactly. I mean, there may be one or two close confidants, but I think more than anything, she's still trying to figure out just for her own heart. And maybe she just really needs to ask some significant questions of him. Who's the person with the most answers? He would be the person with the most answers. Okay. Page of Pentacles. So this is like she's kind of gearing up for, I do need to have more dialogue with him. Just very open, like kind of innocent, kind of, this is not accusatory or anything. This is like, okay, so let's start from the beginning. Let's imagine that now, since he says he'll be an open book with me, then let me pretend I'm meeting him for the first time and I'm hearing about whatever his most recent life story has been. Let me not say, well, I already knew him and then he disappeared and then he comes back with this story. What if I met him for the first time and he was just somebody I don't know yet, but he's an open book to me and he's telling me about his trials and tribulations of life? How would I treat him? Well, I would be intrigued. I would be interested. I would be compassionate. I would want to hear his life story. I think that's the way she's like finding an answer as to how to proceed here. So that she can maybe give this a fair opportunity. Nine of Wands. I mean, this is still risky for her because obviously she still has a wound over all of this and she's kind of scared to get hurt again. But I kind of feel like she still has to know if this is real, because there's still such a strong bond here with that strength card. At least in this fictional story, for this fictional character, there is such a strong bond. And there is this piece of her where I keep feeling like she wants to hug him, or she, exactly what we see here. It's like, I can't help it. If he really went through all the stuff he's saying he did, then I actually want to like give him comfort and support, and I want this bond to be stronger. It's just the, like, you know, how do you rebuild trust and believe the story somebody tells when you already didn't have the trusting foundation? So much of this is based off of two people that fell in love. She fell in love with him, and all the time we see him saying, and I fell in love with her. And then everything got destroyed, and then also so did the trust get destroyed, because there was never full, you know, transparency. And now coming back in to revive this is tough. But everything here says she can't help it. There's more leaning toward, I gotta know how this thing goes, because I actually feel like the most important components are, I think the feelings are real. Two of Wands says, of course, in life, anything could still happen, right? You know, we make our decisions every day and we decide which route we're going to take. Why is the Two of Wands here, and specifically with him sitting there? Knight of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. I think it just keeps showing us that for both of them, this is like, it's been a long time coming. I don't know if this has been a couple years. I look at that as like 3 years. I kind of wonder if this says, I mean, if they're both going to take a really long time to figure out what they want to do, they could be wasting good time. I understand both characters have to like think things over, but this almost looks like he's saying, I'll wait as long as it takes. And no matter how long my beard has to grow, I got to wait until she tells me if she wants me or not. And if she doesn't, then I guess I go down a different path and I leave, but I'll wait as long as it takes. And she's sitting here kind of like meditating on things, getting balanced and trying to figure out what to do. And we follow it up with another card of balance, which is that Temperance card, which is her saying, you know, life moves in mysterious ways, but if talking to them isn't stressing me out, if the idea of being around them again and just taking this one step at a time and seeing how this goes doesn't cause me great distress, if they are not bringing disruption into my life or lies or things that make me feel unsafe, if they're showing up and they're being consistent, then again, with the Seven of Pentacles, she says, only time will tell how everything might go. But if day by day things get more stable and more balanced, then why would I not try this? Why would I not try this? What if this is the new beginning? For her, it just says that she's saying, I have to know. I have to try this again with them. I have to know if this is real. You know, I'm glad that she's following what she needs to do. Let me just get one last card here for any other message as far as like potential outcome here. The High Priestess. The universe is saying, well, she kind of already knows. Just like maybe deep down she's known someday she would actually hear from them again. Maybe deep down she's always known. Again, with that Two of Pentacles, there's that gut instinct coming in. She's always known that like either this is the person she's meant to be with, or this is the person that she should never be with. But it's going to be all or nothing with this situation. But with this Ten of Pentacles, I feel like she's always known that if circumstances shifted in their favor, they could have it all with that Ten of Pentacles. I mean, this is the two of them sharing a relationship. It does require the ability to move on from the past and start fresh, though, with that Six of Swords. It requires a total do-over, and at the same time, full revelation of all secrets, which is exactly, they do have to talk about the past. There can't be any darkness. She has to be able to freely like walk right into every aspect of what their past was. no secrets. Those secrets have to be fully illuminated. And we have her walking, and we see her backbone is here. We see her holding like the face of like the skeleton. And the more she walks into the gloom, the more this is illuminated. I feel like as long as these two can genuinely talk about absolutely everything and there are no more secrets, then this gives them a second chance. But if there's any hint of more secrets, I think she'll be gone like that. I think that's where the make it or break it is. Because again, this relationship has already been through like very bizarre circumstances before coming back together, even though I think she already knew this would come back around someday. Everything hinges on, there's no guarantees that this is all going to work, but it could either be, we'll be great together, and as long as there's always transparency, I can move from beyond the past. If there's any more lies or anything else hidden, though, I'll be gone so fast their head will spin. And I do think that's the only way I can say it, is like she has to know how this thing could go. Can we see one last message on their side? Because I would say she is choosing them. And I think this is it. She's going to give this a real fresh start. What about on their side? The Chariot and the King of Pentacles. I do not see anything hidden on their side. I don't know if they could be older now, or they could be prematurely aged, whatever their double life secret thing. It wasn't ever about cheating, by the way. Back in part 1, it was very, like movie quality drama, but it was never about cheating or secretly being married or anything like that. It had nothing like that in it. But I'm thinking that whatever they did go through, it was extremely draining. But I also think that they're finally like on solid ground. Things have been course corrected, and this is them saying, I am very, very, very clear. Everything that they have said in this whole story from part 1 and part 2 has been totally consistent. And I mean, to have 2 lengthy videos, and have this many decks and this many opportunities for all kinds of negative cards to come out, and they don't, that's kind of an awesome storyline for this, because everything here says that they're like on the straight and narrow path, and they're full steam ahead. Exactly what they're saying. I just want to be home with you. I don't want drama and intrigue. I just want to give to you. I just want to be married to you. I just want to build a house with you. I just want to be full steam ahead, King of Pentacles. That's what my life's goal is. They seem unwavering in what they're offering and what they're hoping they can have with her still. So I would say that this marriage offer is very, very much that's what they truly wanted to say. That's why they're doing it, because that's what they've wanted all this time. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you guys. I know that was an interesting one to do a follow-up to, but it was definitely more of a movie style, which we don't usually get, and so that was fun. Yes, G, there is. I did part 1, I think, yesterday, and I'll put the link to part 1 in the description box here, so you guys can watch that in its entirety instead of just hearing me do the recap. So, Nellie, good to see you. Travis Rhodes, good night, hun. Champersink 79, awesome to see you. Susie Johnston. Oh, Air Bubble, that's wonderful. Barcelona was amazing, and you swam with dolphins off to Mallorca. Oh, I've seen pictures. It looks gorgeous. Have a great time. Have a great time. Sonara, Jenny Metzer, Tasha, nice to see you. Angel R. Hi, beauty. Zion's Gamming. Nice to see you, love. Empress Unicorn 111. Hi, sweetheart. Thank you again, Moonbeam Wendy. Helen. Hi, hun. I'm glad you guys made it to the live. Hi, Nick. Pocket full of sunshine. Cataclysmic Awakening. Great to see you again tonight. Luminous Marina. Myrish Swamp. This one I got from a thrift store. Most things I love yard sales and thrift stores. Sometimes like I haven't been able to like tag this particular necklace for you guys because I can't find one like it. Um, I don't know how old this is. It's I found ones that are similar, but they don't have the stone in the middle. So I haven't tagged it. I try to tag stuff if it's like almost identical or is identical, like a different version of something but same maker or something. But I don't think I can find this necklace. But yeah, it was at a yard sale. And so yard sale or thrift store, I can't remember which one. I went to two that day, so I can't remember which one I picked that up at. And there's not like a name or anything on it to help me find out who made it. So um, but yeah, I like vintage stuff and I love repurposing stuff. And I always like that, if I can find stuff that's already been used, it's also like it has its own little story. I like to think of like my clothes took trips with other people and then they came into my life. AC, good to see you. EM, how you feeling, AC? Are you all better? Judith Ovad, thank you for being here. GOSC10P, hi, hun. Tammy Johnson, nice to see you. Bathing suits and rain boots, Moon Pony. Brian, thank you for popping by again, hun. Pamela and Tours Kerala, hi. Nice, EM. Nelly, always wonderful to hang out with you. And RT, thank you, sweetheart. All right, you guys. I will see you. We're going to go ahead and do one of the oh, thank you so much, sweet. Yes, you were spot on. The title of that first one was bonus for the 9/7. Yes, exactly. The very rare situation. And I will tag that video, or excuse me, put it in the comment section also. Not comment, sorry, description box. Harley, hi. Delighted to see you in a live, hun. All right, you guys, I will see you in just a minute. We'll do a 9/9 today's topic. Okay, I'll see you guys in just a bit. Thank you for being here. Lots of love.